Good evening, Storm fans, from the Bloomington Ice Garden in Bloomington, Minnesota, for the third game of this Bloomington Bantam Winter Classic. The Storm will be taking on a team out of the Chicago area, West Dundee, the West Dundee Leafs. Storm are coming off of a tie this morning with Egan, a very exciting game. The Storm actually came out very flat and were down 3-0 very early in that game, and then battled back to earn a tie. Ended up just dominating the third period and actually had opportunities to score the go-ahead goal, but happy with a tie based on how the game started out anyway. But they really rallied and outshot the Egan team 18-3 in the third period and earned a tie. So they are sitting atop the standings, or tied at the top of the standings with Egan now, and then depending on how this game comes out, it will determine where they'll play tomorrow. So they'll likely end up playing for either first place or third place in this tournament. If they win, they'll likely be playing for first place. If they lose, they'll be playing for third or possibly fifth. So teams have finished their warm-ups. They're getting their final laps around the net, and we'll get ready to kick this one off shortly. Looks like the Storm are going to start off with a front line of O'Day, Lego, and Hutchins on the front line. Meyer and O'Melia on D. And we're underway here. This one is picked up by West Dundee, dumped into the zone. This one comes to Otto Hutchins. Otto skates ahead. Oh, he tries to get across the Colin, but that's a little bit too hard. And this one in the corner, trying to get over to Colin. Colin's right in front of the net, and he puts it in. So Colin picked up where he left off the last game as he gets his third goal in, actually fifth goal, I believe, of this tournament, to make it 1-0. Colin from Lego. Not sure what the holdup is here. Now we're ready to go, and here's the face-off. Comes behind the net. This one steered away by Ben Just. Ben in goal today, this afternoon. As George T1 Ortiz did the honors in the morning game, and Ben is in goal tonight. This one kept in by Ben, or by James Meyer, sorry. Nice defense there by Griffin O'Melia to poke that one away. And West Dundee gets a line change. Here's Archie Rudin with the puck and almost loses it, but is able to try to kick it out of there. Now West Dundee comes into the zone. Now this is controlled by Ben Story. That is Will Marsh. Will loses it, but now it's gained back. Will's got it again. Now here is Colin moves with it. Collins skating in. He reverses around, keeps control of it nicely. Leaves it for Will. Will out to Archie. Archie fires one and knocked down by the West Dundee goalie. Kept in by Archie nicely. Here's Will Marsh with it in the corner. He's got to center right out to, and another goal as Tyson from Will Marsh. Archie from Will Marsh. So that'll make it 2-0 here, as the Storm are coming out hot offensively, as they're picking right up where they left off in the third period of the earlier game. And nice save by Ben. Ben had a rather rough game early on. I think it may have been his first game of the year. And ever since then, he's really settled down and has done a great job in goal. Had a shutout and another one-goal game, I believe. And just a little bit too far for Otto. That was going to go down and be an icing call, I believe. No. Must have been a touch there, but Otto chases it down. That's kept in by Griffin O'Melia. Otto in the corner. He rings it around the boards. And there's another. George kicked that one out for Colin, but Colin couldn't quite get a stick on it. This one gets spun around the boards. Colin picks it up, loses control. Now here comes the West Dundee. George skates it up. He's going to look for Colin again, but goes off of a West Dundee player. Here's Cam Adair with it behind the net, but he loses it. West Dundee in the corner. That one comes out of the zone. Colin Moose chases it down. Tries to steal it away. Now that one's kept in by Jackson. Gets it over to Colin Moose, and Colin tried a little toe drag there and didn't get away with it. Jackson now fires one toward the net. Jackson Gaston with his first goal of the year earlier today. Here's Tyson. Tyson bounces it off the boards, but that's a little too far for Ben Score. And there's a loose puck in the slot for a second. Now West Dundee comes back to retrieve it as Archie chases. Now they bring it up through the zone. That's going to be an icing call as West Dundee shot it a little too far, and we'll come back down for an offensive zone face-off for the Storm. Here's Will Marsh on the face-off. Face-off comes to West Dundee. They bring it around the boards. Griffin O'Melia pokes it in, but Tyson was still in the zone, so that'll be an offsides. We'll face off just outside the Storm offensive zone here with 9:52 left in this opening period. 2-0 Storm. Back comes West Dundee, and they're getting close. Oh, great save by Ben again. Ben held his ground and got a pad on that shot. Now, Otto and George chase this one down, try to get to it before West Dundee does, and they do and get it around the boards. Comes to Griffin O'Melia. He pokes it right back. Now here's Jackson with it. Jackson gets it over to George. George with it, but eventually comes to Griffin. Griffin cross ice over to James Meyer. James is going to fire that down. That's going to be an ice, I think. Nope, they go a touch on that, so no icing call. Oh, and there's a centering pass right in front of the net. Nice job by Ben to come out and challenge that one. Griffin pokes this ahead. Comes to the Leafs. Ben Score. Ben just flicks it ahead as he goes off for a line change. That one's fired by Beck Shepner. Now Beck picks it up again. Now he's going to bring it into the zone. Chases it down into the corner. Kicks it ahead to himself. Now he's going to reverse it back around to Will Marsh. Now they battle in the corner. Comes over to Tyson. Tyson back to Cam. And nice redirect there by Will Marsh, but blocked by the goalie. And this one's going to go all the way down, but we had a Cam Adair will come down and pick it up. Cam across to Tyson. Oh, Tyson loses control, and there's a close-in shot by the Leafs, but they shot it up over the net. Pass saved by Ben. Now here comes Will Marsh. Will gets it ahead to Archie, or picks up his own pass, and he fires one at the net, and that is covered by the Leafs, and they'll have an offensive zone face-off here with 6:30 left in this opening period. Storm with a 2-0 lead here. Colin on the face-off. This comes right out to the slot. Now Colin picks it up. He skates it around. He's going to dump it along the back wall over to Otto. Now there's a centering pass. Colin picks up a loose puck for a second, but then loses control. Nice job by Griffin to defend that one, as West Dundee was looking for a 2-on-1. And now Otto fires it cross ice, comes over to George. George and Otto get tangled up, and George fires it to the net. George did a good job just to keep upright and was able to get a good shot away. But that is covered, and another offensive zone face-off here for the Storm. 5:51 left in this first period. Here's Jackson behind the net. He tries to center it out, but it's picked off by the Leafs, and back they come. Cam forces his man wide, picks up the loose puck. Now they get it back. Oh, and there's a point-blank shot. Great save again by Ben as he's in great position. Another shot fired right at Ben. And Ben covers that one. Here's the face-off. Knocked around, comes to Tyson. Tyson cross ice over to Archie. Archie skates it ahead. He's going to leave it for Will Marsh. Not sure what that call was there, but we're going to face off in the Storm offensive zone here. Will Marsh will do the honors. He's got Archie and Tyson with him up on the front line, and James Meyer and Griffin O'Melia are anchoring the D here. This one comes back to Archie. Archie flips it over to James. Now, oh! Nice little feed from Will Marsh over to Archie, and Archie got a good slap shot away, but it was tipped up into the air and out of play. So we will face off again as the Storm get a fresh defenders in. Will along the boards. Will goes down. Tyson tries to center it, but poked away. Now here's Tyson with it again behind the net, trying to wrestle it away. Comes to Archie. Archie centers it nicely, but it was on Tyson's backhand and couldn't do anything with it. Now Cam Adair is going to chase this one down. Reverses. Oh, fans on the pass, but wrestled away by Tyson. Tyson goes across ice over to Archie. Now Tyson's going to just fire that down, but that's going to be an icing. So we will come into the Leafs offensive zone and face off. 4 minutes exactly left in this one as O'Day comes back in for the face-off. This one's picked up by James Meyer. This one's fired into the corner. Now comes over here to Otto. Otto steps in, fires a shot. Holland kicks at it, but now it squirts right out into the slot, but picked up by West Dundee, and back they come. Now here's Otto. He's going to try to bring it out. That's poked off of his stick. There's Griffin behind the net. Griffin sends it out, but it comes right to West Dundee now. Down into the corner where James Meyer picks it up. He leaves it for Colin. Here's O'Day bringing it through across the blue line, gets it up to George. George tries to dangle, but poked off of his stick. Now Collins steps in. This one goes all the way down, and that'll be an ice. So come back down for an offensive zone face-off. 2:31 left in the opening period. Here's Jackson Gaston on the face-off. He's got Ben Score and Colin Moose with him on the front line. And Storm have let a player get behind their D a couple times. Able to recover every time, but got to be careful leaving the man behind. And here's Colin Moose as he tries to come in. Ooh, loose puck there for a second, but that's steered away by the goalie. Now Colin goes over and tries to pick it up behind the net. Ben Scory comes in. He flips it ahead and very tough angle, but is able to get it up toward the net, and goalie had to cover that one. Nice job by Ben. Now here comes Will Marsh back in on the face-off here. And that one comes to Griffin, now brought back in by Tyson. Tyson just flips it behind the net. Now Tyson over in the corner. Out. There's Archie with a shot, and West Dundee goalie gloved that one, and that popped out of his glove, but nobody there to knock in the rebound. Now here's Tyson again. Beck gets this up to Otto. Otto Hutchins across the blue line. Poked away. Back come the Leafs. Centering pass there that goes wide. Picked up by Otto. Now Will Marsh is going to bring it in. Will fires one. Another one pops right out of the goalie's glove, and Otto had a second opportunity at it, but couldn't get in the net. And now we're going to have a offsides call. Just 13 and a half seconds left here in this opening period. Face-off comes to James Meyer. James is going to just fire it down. That will be the end of the first period with the score 2-0 in favor of the Storm. Storm came out very strong early. 2 quick goals early on.
Number 18. Penalty, first period.
What are you trying to say? Oh, yeah.
Text. Screenshot text.
Storm come back out on the ice to start this second period here. Storm going right to left now. As the West Dundee players get fired up, they're banging their sticks against the board, trying to get their team fired up. Colin shovels this one down, picked up by Otto. Now there's Colin with it as he tries to center it out of there. Now Colin with it again. Oh, nice centering pass over to George, but George was a little tied up and couldn't get a stick on it. Otto keeps it in. Eventually comes away with it. Colin in the corner. Circles. Oh, and he puts it right through the slot. Griffin fires one into the opposite corner, and there's one that's fired at the goalie off a pad. Nice defense by James. And we're going to have an offsides call, so gives the opportunity for the Storm to get a fresh set of skaters out there. Just underway here in the second period, 2-0 lead for the Storm. Here's Jackson Gastone on the faceoff. He kicks it back to Cam. Cam up to Colin Moose. Colin brings it across the line. Circles, stops. Reverses again. Now he's behind the net. Skates it around. Still controls it. Now right out to Jackson. Jackson fires one. Nice opportunity there. Now Colin fires one toward the net. That's knocked down by a West Dundee player. Now Cam's going to chase this down. He sends it back to back. Back flicks it ahead. Now it's Tyson. Tyson's all alone though. He gets knocked off the puck. There's a hard slap shot, but it's off the mark. Now spun around the boards, comes over to Ben Storey. Reversed around by Griffin over to Ben again. Now it comes to Will Marsh. Will Marsh kicks it out to center ice, but now it's intercepted by West Dundee, and back they come. Try to get in for a shot, but back on some nice defense there. That's out of the zone, no call though. That looked like that one popped out, but official thought otherwise. This one comes over to Will Marsh. Will skates it around. And the circle, centers it across to Otto, but just a little too far. Oh, and there's a shot from the outside by Griffin. That one gets through, but pad saved by the goalie. Now here's Will Marsh again. Will spins around. He reverses it around, but Archie had left the space. Now Will Marsh, pad save. Shot by Griffin. Uh-oh. Now there's a 2-on-1. And kicked away by James Meyer. Nice defense. There's a shot easily steered away by Ben. Archie picks this up off the wall, but knocked right back down by the Leafs. This one knocked out of there by Will Marsh. Back comes West Dundee. Colin takes this one away. Gives it up to Colin Moose, but he loses control and comes right back to West Dundee. This one takes a funny hop off the boards, but James Meyer with it. Can't seem to get it out of the zone, though. Colin goes into the boards. This one's picked up by Colin Moose, and he comes around and gets a nice shot away. Now Colin with it, and there's a loose puck, but oh! Great save by the West Dundee goalie as there was an open net there, and a couple people had a whack at it. I think Colin got a whack at it, and both Collins, I think, got a whack at it, but couldn't get it in the net. Now here's Jackson Gaston on the face-off in the offensive zone. Comes to Tyson. Oh, Tyson's loose, but had his stick blocked. Now Beck Shepner with it. This one squirts into the middle of the circle and won by West Dundee. Knocked back down by Cam Adair. Now here's Jackson with it as he tries to pick it off the wall. Kicks it to himself. Centers it right out. And by Tyson. Nice assist there by Jackson. Jackson Gaston with an assist and a goal to Tyson. Tyson from Jackson. So that'll make it 3-0 now as the Storm get a little bit of breathing room here. Looks like the West Dundee team may be making a goalie change here, as number 24 is going to come in and relieve number 70 here. New goalie is in place, so we're ready to face off here. Here's Will Marsh. He wins the face-off, kicks it back to James Meyer. Griffin. Back to Will Marsh. Will around his man. Gets a shot away, but off the pad of the goalie. James Meyer tries to fire one, but that's deflected away. This one comes to Griffin. Griffin back to Will Marsh. Will fires it down. Here's Archie. Archie comes in for a shot, and he gets one right on net. That's covered by West Dundee. So 8:18 left here in this second period, just about halfway through this game. O'Day comes back in for the face-off. Lego and News on the front line. Beck shovels this one into the slot, but it's picked up by West Dundee. Colin Moose, Colin up to Colin O'Day. Colin's got a 2-on-1 if he can hurry. There, he gets it over to, got it over to George, but yeah, we're going to have a hook on. He called a high stick, I guess. I guess George got clipped by the high stick. That's why he couldn't get that pass. Oh, it was a beautiful pass by Colin right to George, who was on his right. And George couldn't get his stick down because he got a high stick in the face, I think, or on the hand or something. Called a high stick, but George was holding his hand. So I don't. Oh, and nice little maneuver by Colin Moose as he tries to get in for a shot. Storm on the power play here. There's a shot by Griffin, goes into the corner, picked up by James Meyer. Now over to Colin Moose. Colin Moose with it still at the circle. Kicks it over to Cam. Here's Griffin with it in the corner. Comes out to Jackson. Jackson fires one. That's off the side of the net. 1:07 left in the penalty to West Dundee. Here's Ben Scora with it. Ben gets in loose. Oh, Ben snuck right into the slot. They let him in there, and he got a shot away, but it was a little high. This one goes all the way down. That's going to be an icing call. So 43 seconds left in this power play for the Storm as they're looking to go up 4. Will Marsh comes in on the face-off. Will kicks it back to Beck. Beck now down to Tyson. Tyson centers it out. Oh, and there's a loose puck out front for Archie, but bouncing puck, and those are tough to get your stick on. Now Beck with it. 20 seconds left in the penalty. Beck is going to try to skate it up, but now they battle in the neutral zone. That one pops up into the air. Now Will Marsh knocks it back down. And Adair over to Beck. Beck now skates it up, flicks it to Archie. Archie fires one. That is wide. Now Archie picks this up, tangle up in his feet for a second, and eventually comes to Beck. Penalty is now over to West Dundee, so both teams back at full strength. There's a shot fired from long range, knocked down by West Dundee. Beck can't keep that one in, so he's going to retreat, comes back to Cam Adair. Cam's going to skate it up. Cam's got Archie on the other side. Not sure where Cam was going with that one, as that one rings around the boards and all the way out. Now here's Otto. Otto comes into the zone. Otto leaves it for Colin. Colin back around to the other side for Otto. Now Colin picks it up. Colin gets in the slot and fires one. O'Day, Lego, and Hutchins on the front line. And now West Dundee is going to make another goalie switch and put the original goal back in. So not quite sure what that was all about, but that one pops up in the air, and the goalie covers that one or gloves it. George to Colin. Here's Colin. Colin gets loose in the slot. Oh, now it's a loose puck right in the slot as Otto got it tangled up in his feet. Now Colin's going to pick this up, but tries to dangle, but knocked off his stick. Comes to Griffin in the corner. Here's Otto with it out to George. George skates it ahead. George along the boards. Colin flicks it toward the net, but didn't have much on that one. And there's a shot that rolls to the goalie, and he covers that. So should the Storm hang on to win this game, they will finish tied with Egan in their bracket, and then it will come down to goal differential. And I believe that the Storm should have the advantage. I don't know what the score of the score of the Egan game was that happened right before this, and I don't know what that score was, but the Storm did win 6-1 on Friday, and so there's a 5-goal differential there, and then they currently have a 3-goal differential so in this game, so that should help them out. There's a shot by Colin Moose, but that is gloved by the West Dundee goalie. So unless Egan won their game earlier by more than 6 goals, great opportunity there. Great scoring chance for Archie. That one, great feed out to him right in the slot, and he got a shot off, but great save by the West Dundee goalie. Tyson fires one. Here's another one for Archie. Oh, and there we go. Another one from Tyson. So Tyson gets his second goal of the game as Archie fired the shot, but then it rebounded out, and Tyson was able to get a stick on it and put it into the empty net, so that'll now make it 4-0. So every goal helps the Storm here as they need a big goal differential to ensure a first place finish here. So again, should they win and should they win the tiebreaker, which is goal differential, they would finish in their bracket in first place, which would pit them against the first place team in the other bracket. And they would play tomorrow morning for the championship of this tournament. That's going to be an offsides on the Storm. So we'll face off just outside the Storm zone here with 1:51 left here in the second period. Colin kicks that one ahead, but now Otto chases this one down. Otto controls. He's got Colin out front. Otto. Oh, another loose puck out front, but here's Colin with it. Colin to George Lego, and Lego puts it in. Okay. Lego from O'Day. What? Yes. So they ended up with calling a penalty on that. I think after the shot, one of the West Dundee players was pushing just a little bit too much into one of the Storm players, so they're going to get called for a penalty. So the Storm now on a power play as they take a 5-0 lead. There's Jackson with it. Flip it ahead, Jackson. Oh, he had Colin Moose there. Was an opportunity for a breakaway. James Meyer comes into the zone where Ben Scory picks it up. He tries to get it over to Colin, but didn't get quite enough on that one. Kept in by James. Now this poked out of there. Griffin O'Melia is going to chase it down. Tries to skate it out of there, but now Colin Moose pokes it ahead. Nice job by Colin to pester his man and almost came away with a puck there. This one's fired down. That one's steered away easily by Ben. And Ben just with a great game going so far. Storm defensively, though, have really not given West Dundee much to work with. Tyson chases this one down. There he is. Oh, he tries to set it over for Archie, but that was a little behind him. So that'll be the end of the second period with the Storm leading 5-0. I don't understand why this is so hard.
I didn't see the number. I just read the name. This one. It's official. I got it. Now I have to pay attention to the number, not the name. You should have put last name.
I don't control that part. It does it automatically.
Really?
Yeah. So the Egan team won their game on Friday by a score of 4-2. So they have a 2-goal differential there. Storm won by 5. So at that point we were 3 ahead of Egan on goal differential, and now have a 5-goal differential in this one. There's a shot by Will Marsh. So unless Egan beat the team this afternoon by more than 8, I think the Storm should be in good shape. Should they hang on and win this one 5-0 or thereabouts. Here's Archie. Archie fires just toward the net. Archie does a good job of firing from almost behind him and getting it toward the net. He had that one right on net, but it was intercepted by a West Dundee player. Here's back over to Cam. Now up to Archie. Archie tries to get around his man. It comes over to Will Marsh. Archie again fires one. Otto tries to wrap it around, but I think it went a little, got away from him and went to the back wall. So, and then eventually all the way down. So that'll be an icing call on the West Dundee team, and Storm will have an offensive zone face-off as Colin O'Day comes back in for the face-off. This one's knocked all the way down where James Meyer will have to chase it. James over to Griffin. Now here's Otto with it. Otto up to George. George goes between the legs, leaves it, but there was nobody there to pick it up. There's a shot across Ben's face that goes to the other wall. Colin battles along the boards. .12:15 left in this one, and I believe we now have a running clock with a 5-goal differential here. So here's Cam with it. Cam reverses around, kicks it out to Colin Moose. Colin Moose over to Ben Scorey. Ben shovels it in, goes behind the net to chase it. Here's Jackson. Jackson gets to it first. He's trying to maneuver around his man. Did a good job to get to that puck, but not able to do anything with it. But it comes to West Dundee. And now they fire it ahead. That's going to be an ice. I think they called a touch on that, so no icing call. Shot fired, but off the mark, goes into the corner. This one comes out into the slot, but Colin Moose is there to pick it up. Comes to Will Marsh. Then Archie tips it ahead, but tipped it a little too far. Picks up his rebound. Comes to Will Marsh. There's Will Marsh with it. Will goes down. Yes, he gets knocked off the puck. Griffin O'Melia with it behind the net now. James Meyer loses an edge. There's a shot that's off the mark. Tyson with it. Tyson cross ice over to Archie. Archie to Will Marsh. But Will had a 1-on-3 and that was poked away from him. George gets it over to Tyson. Now here's Tyson with a 1-on-4. Tyson fires, gets a shot on net. Tyson's got a good hard shot. This one's intercepted by George. Oh, he tries to leave it for Colin, and Tyson with another shot on that. George kicks it back out to Cam Adair. Cam fires one. Now it's loose, rolling behind. That was rolling behind Tyson. He wasn't quite sure where it was. Kept in nicely by Colin. Now here's George with it. George tries to get it to Colin. Now back to Colin. Now it's Otto with it. Otto goes off the boards. Kept in nicely by Cam Adair. Now lifted out of there. Going to have an offsides call, so a face-off right outside the storm zone. 8:36 and running in this one. This one's picked up by Otto. Otto skates it ahead. Tries to maneuver around his man. He gets around him, but loses control for a second. Comes to Griffin. Griffin fires around the board where Ben Scory picks it up. Now James Meyer over to Griffin. Colin whacks at it. Now this one's shoveled down by Ben Scory. Jackson and Colin Moose try to wrestle it away. Back, sends it back down. Now here's back as he steps in, gets a shot. And that is gloved by the West Dundee goalie. Here's Will Marsh on the face-off. Just under 7 minutes left in this one. Comes to Archie. Archie tries to fire one, but that goes off of a player's leg. And West Dundee now dumps it into the zone. Back chases it. Rings it around for Archie. This one comes all the way out. And 3 Storm players chasing. This one goes all the way down. Centering pass. Ooh. That was dangerous as West Dundee centered it and it went off of a Storm player's skate and right toward Ben, but fortunately he was able to get down and cover it. Will Marsh on the face-off. This one comes all the way out. Tyson's going to try to chase this one down. Tyson making a bid for a hat trick here. He leaves it for Archie. Man, Archie couldn't. Tyson got it over to him, but it was sort of bouncing a little bit, and Archie not able to get it toward the net very well. He eventually tipped it toward the net, but it was covered. As back come Otto, Colin, and George. Colin on the face-off. This one comes to West Dundee. Now Colin with it. He's got it. Goes behind the net by the circle. Off the boards back to Otto. Otto behind the net now to George. Now George. And there's a Colin trying to get in for a shot. He does. Otto fires one. James tries to get it over to Colin, but couldn't quite get it there. Back comes West Dundee. Now they got a shot right at Ben. Ben got a little handcuff there, but he was able to get both arms up and smother that puck to preserve the shutout here. I suppose I risked jinxing it here, but Ben is making a bid for his second shutout of the year. Clock running, under 4 minutes now. This one comes to Jackson. Jackson steps in and fires a shot. That is gloved by the West Dundee goalie. Now here's Jackson Gastone on the faceoff. He kicks his back over to Cam Adair. Cam over to Colin Moose. Colin tries to maneuver around, but he gets pinned against the wall. Beck keeps this one in, though. He steps in. Shovels it toward the net. Now here's Cam, turns around and fires one. That one is deflected into the corner. Back out to Ben Score. Loose on center ice. Ben's going to just fire that one down and around the boards. Jackson comes over to pick it up. He's waiting for some help, though, as a new line was coming in. This one comes out to Griffin. Griffin fires one. Pad save by the West Dundee goalie. Centering pass right out there. Oh, I guess Jackson made a nice little move to get the puck around the goalie, but he couldn't quite get it in there. Now here comes Tyson. Tyson fires one, and that one is deflected into the corner. Will Marsh picks it up, centers it out there again nicely, but picked up by West Dundee and fired down. That'll be on ice. So 1 minute and 30 seconds left and counting here. Colin O'Day on the face-off. That one comes to West Dundee. And that's going to be an offsides on the Leafs. Otto fires that in. Just under a minute here. Colin and Beck wrestle along the boards. George comes away with it. George skates it in, tries to center it, but fired it right at the goalie and trapped under his legs. 30 seconds now. Probably won't get much more than this face-off here, and this one will be over. So a very good showing for the Storm here, as they are most likely going to come away with a shutout here. Collins circles around. Griffin O'Melia fires a shot, and that one deflected away. Here's West Dundee with it. Comes down, and that will do it. And Storm will Ben Just with his second shutout of the year. As the Storm looked very strong, both offensively and defensively, started the scoring off early and kept up the pressure. Didn't really give this West Dundee club much much to work with as they controlled the puck most of the game. So Storm will finish the pool play with a 2-0-1 record. So they do have the one tie against Egan, and as I mentioned, will come down to goal differential, but with a 5-goal differential here and a 5-goal differential on Friday, I believe that should put them in first place. And that will put them in the first place game tomorrow morning. Not sure what time that game is, but it'll be early tomorrow morning. Storm will be in action against the first place team in the other bracket. And thanks for tuning in.